Good evening, councillors. Can I have your attention, please? Welcome to the meeting of the Financial and General Purposes Committee of Ramsgate Town Council. Could I just remind councillors that this is being broadcast? First item is apologies of absence.
We have apologies from Councillor Alban, Councillor Driver, Crittenden, Atkinson and Wing. They're attending a TDC meeting.
At all? Thank you. Second item 2 is declarations of interest. Does any councillor have any interest to declare in any of the items under discussion? No. Item 3 is policies and procedures. There are 5 items under this heading. The first one is to consider and approve the draft community engagement policy. I'll hand you to our Marketing and Communications Officer to take you through this.
Okay, so the majority of these policies are things we are already doing, but it's just falling in line, and it's one of the further steps that will help Laura achieve the equality status for the council. So it's just kind of ticking some boxes to put on paper what we're doing. So the first one that shows the community engagement policy. This will detail what we need to do to have a two-way communication between us and the members of the public, and what we should expect and what they should expect from us providing services as a council. So such things are like transparency, accessibility to information, reporting and feedback, holding surveys, questionnaires, public meetings and community forums throughout the year. And at the back of that is the annex of all our social media channels as well. Yeah, it's just basically just outlining what the council should be providing to members of the public and vice versa.
Yes.
I think it's excellent. I think it's a very good that all the policies look comprehensive and cover what we need. There's 2 things I would suggest we add to this. One is something about the excellent community that we have in Ramsgate, the way that people get involved in things and volunteer and so on, and how we rely on that, and that we want to foster and encourage that as a town council. And the second thing I would like to suggest for this and the section about the style and formatting is about clarity and simplicity of language. And colleagues who were with me on TDC will have heard me bang on about this endlessly at TDC. The avoidance of jargon, making sure that our communications are in plain English, etc. Not dumbed down, but simple and clear, so that we can expect that members of the community will understand what we're on about and will want to communicate with us.
A good point, Councillor. Mm-hmm. Councillor Hetherington.
Yeah, I'd just like to agree with Councillor Ross. I mean, it was very with the EDI training last night, and that was, we need to make
equality, diversity, inclusion, if anybody.
I know most of us were there and have been to the other one, but it is very helpful. I mean, thinking about, yes, we need to make ourselves accessible as possible. Sorry to give our...
It is... I would say it's not so much of a problem with this council as it is with Thanet, where obviously there are a lot of technical things to be dealt with on the planning and so on. But some of the terminology there is difficult enough for councillors to follow, let alone expecting members of the public to understand some of the communication.
I had one thought. A number of councillors have their own social media outlets in their role as ward councillors, and I think perhaps we could include that. Anything else? Can I propose that we approve the policy? Seconder? Seconded. Councillor Hetherington. All those in favour? It's carried. Thank you.
So the second one is copyright and usage policy. That one is basically detailing that all of the content that we produce as a council is our own. It's something that we've long overdue and needed in writing. And basically that the use of any information from our website is to be sought from the town clerk or the chair.
I couldn't see whether it actually says that.
Doesn't say who.
No,
It just
apologies.
says-
Sorry, I wrote these. That might be in the filming or recording procedure, sorry. So yeah, this one is literally about the copy and reproduction of our stuff, and basically that it's not for commercial use, but we publish everything public on the website.
But all our social media outlets have that instruction.
Everything that is published that we put on our website is mainly shared out on social media anyway.
Yeah, but is the copyright notice prominent on those outlets?
Not at the moment, but it can be. It can be added into the about section.
I think it should be. Any other? Yes?
Yeah, one question. The borough coat of arms. Is there any controls on that about people using it?
Yes, so the crest has to be put a request in to the town clerk for use, and that is depending on use. Obviously, it can't be used for commercial use. A couple of years ago, we did have a business that applied to use it for postcards and merchandise, which was refused because they were going to profit off of it. But that has to be something that the town clerk can authorise.
Brilliant, cheers.
Anything else? Can I propose that we accept the copyright and usage policy? That's seconded, Councillor Nixie. All those in favour? Thank you.
Okay, so the next one is a emergency communications procedure. This one was kind of highlighted throughout COVID actually, especially with getting information out to the public. So this should act as a guide of providing timely information to the public if there was an emergency. So COVID was a great example of that, of what we've done, keeping people up to date with vaccinating and the rules of what was going on. This can apply to other emergencies such as flooding, could at an event, if heaven forbid it, there was like a terrorist attack or anything like that. So one of the things that's actually mentioned in here is an emergency plan, which I'm still working on with the town clerk and the town sergeant for security. So that will be coming back once that's drawn up. But it's just detailing what we would do as a council to inform the public of any emergency situations.
Yes, Councillor Rustin.
I wondered, this looks great, but it feels to me like there needs to be something about what we might or might not be expected to do as members, but maybe that comes in the emergency plan rather than in the policy, Dean, I'm not sure.
So normally with the procedure, it details the outline of it, and then the plan will have the detail of the members. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It could be that.
It's more guidance as to what we shouldn't do than what we should.
Yes, yeah. So that the plan should detail individuals. So if it was at a civic event, it would be certain people. It could be that if if it was in the wards, happening in that ward.
In a particular ward, that kind of.
But that'll come back at a later date.
Great, thank you.
Yes, Councillor Young.
I'm just thinking about the problems that we're having at the moment with traffic, with the building, etc. that's going on, and how Hay Road, etc. is completely blocked and traffic lights everywhere. Is there some sort of way we could, on that sign which says take your rubbish home or park in the right place, is there something we could put in that says, avoid that? We could take this, direct another way.
So I think that would come back to when the plan's created, so it wouldn't just be officers of the council and councillors, it would be external, not companies, but organisations, so that's the word. So such places like KCC, which have jurisdiction over that sign. So it'd be much more on a grander scale, but yeah, that's something we can write into the plan for.
Yeah, because when the ambulance needs to come through, there's ambulance stations up there. It's me.
District councillors are informed about planned road closures.
Yeah.
But I don't think we are.
No.
No, we get the occasional one from KCC, but it's something that we do put on our announcements page on the website, but we most of the time we get them after the event's happened, which is something, it's normally like a day road closure and we get it on the day, which is something that I am chasing up with them because we need to give prior notice to residents.
Councillor Austin.
Sending that sort of
information on TDC need to be sending information on, because otherwise it would be ad hoc, people might not do it.
I've only just started getting it, I didn't.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, TDC already do it to all of us. So,
Yes, they definitely need to be doing it to town councils. Because I get all of Thanet, which is a bit
Yes,
strange,
I
do you know
did.
what I mean?
I do now, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Councillor Austin.
Could I just add a postscript to the thing about the signs about taking your litter home and whatever? I did check with parking whose signs they were. They assured me that the one at Canterbury Road East belonged to KCC, although the others in Thanet belonged to TDC. I wrote to Paul Valek saying, could we at least preface the information with welcome to Ramsgate? And he came back to me and said, actually, it's not my sign, it's TDC's. So I'm back round to parking again. So.
Yeah, funnily enough, I drove past there yesterday and commented, what an awful welcome to Ramsgate.
And it's pointless because if you're somebody who dumps your McDonald's at the side of the road or parks on WO lines, it really isn't going to make any difference to your behaviour, is it?
I noticed at the bottom of page 1 of the policy, it talks about an emergency communications team, but it doesn't define what the emergency communications team is.
So I think that is something that will come out of the plan. The plan will identify individuals that will become that team. So I think I think one of the things it mentioned was a weekend type thing. So if there was information that came in on a weekend, there'd be a certain team for that. I don't think it would be an individual team. I think it would be multiple. It depends if it's written in the plan.
Councillors, is that where we're going on this one?
But I think that's something that will come out of the plan of individual teams for different situations.
Okay.
Sorry. I was just thinking about the 2 spillages in the last week that talked about we had it on Facebook, Ramsgate and Pegwell, sewage. Yes, and is there some way, I mean, unless you've got somebody waving a flag down there, you wouldn't really know, and it is dangerous, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It's on quite a lot of WhatsApp groups and stuff.
Yes,
So
but if you haven't got that.
no, well, yes, that is difficult. I mean, I suppose the news and it district thing. I mean, that's I suppose the only way you could. What you wouldn't think there ought to be a notice down there.
Well, visitors wouldn't know.
Some sort of flag that we could have that goes up.
A flag.
Saying,
Right.
I used to have a red flag for don't go in the water.
Well, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Some sort of specific flag for sewage, because it's not going to stop.
have a variety of placards.
Well, exactly, we've got
flags.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
round flag.
Should we ask TDC about that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
It's a good point.
can I make a suggestion? Yes, we asked TDC, but TDC keep everything into the long grass and then say you need to speak to KCC and so on and so forth, as we know. So I think what we ought to also be doing is communicating with Southern Water as to, again, then letting the town council know when this is happening so that we can put it on our website at least.
Yes.
Because I agree it's not our problem in that sense, but I can also see that TDC won't necessarily action something to our benefit. You know, they might do something, but we'll still not know. So would it be all right if the chair or the head of this council or whoever, you know, this group or whatever, writes? I think that's a...
Yeah, that's a
Can I
one-off.
just say, I think it needs to be something that people would recognise, because if we have visitors come here, they won't necessarily know what the locals.
Yes, I agree, and I think, sorry, Chair, I think what I'm saying there, Barbara, is if we at least know when it's happening, because that's the first thing, we've got a Facebook page, a Twitter account, you know, Instagram, whatever, and we can at least put it on there. You know, anything else is fabulous, but to start with, at least we can, we've got a point that we can push people towards. So we can say, right, you need to look at this in the morning, or you need to look at, you know, that.
And it go on.
Exactly.
Because people do really look at the Southern
Is that
Water.
proposal agreed?
Yeah.
Agreed, agreed. Thank you.
And we do have a flagpole on Ramsgate Main Shells that could be used. So,
Right. That's good to know.
because it's there just to show the blue flag if we ever get one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a downer putting a brown flag up, isn't it? I mean, frankly.
Rustin,
I was just going to add that the Overview and Scrutiny Committee's working party on better relationships between TDC and town and parish councils reported just at the end of the last council term, and that report is due to be considered by Cabinet next month, I believe. And so perhaps we could, those of us who are in touch with members could point out that emergency situations which are not particularly flagged up in that report, are a situation where that kind of good relationship and good communication is particularly important.
That'd be great.
Could I, sorry to interrupt again, could I ask this to come back to council at some point with regards to the sewage and the letter to Southern Water? We need to know that they have responded to us so that we are able to do that information. So we need to bring it back to a meeting, don't we? Otherwise, just think, oh, it's going to happen.
so we asked the chair to communicate along those lines with Southern Water and to report back to council.
Yes.
Yeah.
For them to, so asking them to inform us when there are spillages in relation to Ramsgate.
And report back on the response that he gets.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that agreed?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Did you agree that policy? That was just that motion, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we agree the emergency communications procedure policy?
Yeah, seconded.
That's seconded. All those in favour? Agreed.
Okay, so the fourth one is the filming and recording procedure. This one is basically permission to film and record meetings or events that are run by us. This is the one that is mentioned where you have to require permission from the chair or the town clerk. We have been, this is just put in pen to paper really, we have been recording our meetings for the last year and a bit. We've been following a set thing that's just been done since COVID, and now it's just putting it in writing about streaming, and if anybody turned up to record that they should have permission prior.
if there are members of the public present, TDC always warns them that the meeting is about to be recorded, so that they can leave if they wish. So that's why I said that at the start of this meeting.
We do have, fortunately, in this room, the public gallery at the back is actually under the viewing.
Yeah.
However, I agree that it should be declared at the beginning.
Councillor Hetherington.
I'm just curious as to whether our viewing figures are going up.
They are. They are. We did. We did have streaming live. We normally have about 5 or 6. After the actual meeting, it goes up to about 80. If it's a hot topic, I won't mention the names of those hot topics. It can go up to about 100 to 700. It's quite a jump.
Oh, wow.
We need to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll start doing little monthly fact sheets after.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was your mum and David's wife. People. What's this?
Yeah. I have my fans, but not some enemies. Anybody else wish to comment on the filming and recording procedure?
No.
Just a question, we did have a technical problem with the sound a while back.
Yes.
Has that been resolved?
That is recently had an update. Yeah. It needed an update, and one of the problems we had about a year ago is it kept cutting out, and we've got new streaming software that just runs a lot smoother. So yeah, that's been fixed.
Lighting.
Councillor Nixon.
Oh, I'd like to say thank you. I think this is excellent that we do this. And I know it's a big step because we did it in our last term. And I think it's made all the difference. So thank you very much to the Marketing Communications Officer. And anything else that we can do to progress technology in the next 4 years, I'm all for. I think this is excellent. Accessibility always.
And I do think we need to know what hot topics are.
Oh, yes.
Yes, one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I propose that we accept the filming and recording procedure policy. That's seconded, Councillor Eppington. All those in favour? Thank you.
Perfect. And your last one is more of a guide, just to note it. It's a style and formatting guide. So one of the things that we noticed throughout many years that I've been here as well is that certain style of minutes are different from each individual clerk. So one of the things that we're doing is just setting out a standard for minute setting, report writing. So it's all nice and consistent. I think it goes back to Councillor Austin's point about the clarity and just the professionalism.
Great and the language and so on.
It's getting excited about the time.
Just send this round to every councillor and officer at TDC as well. That would be great.
So yeah, it's just to set out what we should be using as a council.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, all the reports that come to us are written by officers, aren't they?
Yes, that's correct.
It's for them, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Councillor Young.
Do we have subtitles available for people who are deaf?
Do you mean for the videos? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. After the meeting, it can't be done live. However, after the meeting, within 24 hours, subtitles are automatically generated for the
That's
meetings,
brilliant.
which I go through and check because occasionally there's the odd the odd thing. But yeah, I go through and check those, and yeah, we have subtitles on all our videos.
That's brilliant.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
Can I propose that we accept the style and formatting guide? Second, Councillor Austin. All those in favour? That ends that item. Thank you. The fourth item is terms of reference to receive the current terms of reference for the climate change task group and consider if there should be any amendments for the ensuing year. Assume you've all read them. I have proposed a change. The officer will read out my proposed change.
So the change is to, on the second page, the third paragraph. It says there. The proposed change is the group will regularly report back to the finance and general purposes either through the minutes of the group or through a report on a topic. The group will work to a plan of action for the financial year that will be revised at the group's first meeting each year, and that is realistic, measurable and deliverable.
Just thought it focused, or should focus, the group.
Yes.
Councillor Huxley.
The chair details, it says the chair need not be a councillor. I always disagree with that. I think it should always be a councillor. Thank you.
Anybody like to comment?
I don't agree. I think it's really helpful that we have the option to have a member of the public as chair. I think it helps engage the community.
Would you like to give the reason for your
Comment that
change?
all other task group and committees are chaired by councillors. Why should this one be different?
Councillor Nixon?
I think I'm inclined to agree with Councillor Huxley in the sense that this is always done with the council's agenda in mind. And so the community are aiding the council in achieving its agenda. And therefore, I think it needs to be steered by somebody that knows what that agenda is. Because it's chairing the meeting, it's not forcing our opinion on something. I want other people to give everything they can and to input as much as they can. But I think in regards to chairing the meeting, I do think it needs to be a councillor purely for that fact. And that is my reason.
Any other? Councillor Austin.
I think we need to distinguish between committees of the council, which are very properly chaired by councillors, and working groups and other activities. We've had the neighbourhood plan group, which has been led by Jenny Dawes for many years, and she, as a member of the public, and this, I believe the same applies to the climate change group. These are working groups where the council is working with the community, and therefore, while it would be perfectly possible for the chair to be a councillor, I don't think we should have a requirement that it must be, because we're asking people to bring their knowledge, expertise and willingness to work to something to help the council in its work.
I think that's my point. I don't want it to look like I'm opposing, the previous chair or anything like that. Please don't think that. I think though, with regards to the neighbourhood plan especially, it might have been suitable if we had a councillor as the chair. Just me. So I really do want those people that put an awful lot of work into any task group, I'm very grateful to them, to be part of this. I just think that with regards to chairing it for what council, so for example, Radford House, which you could consider as that style of group if you wanted to, is chaired by me because I am aware of what council needs, aware of what's happening, and therefore I can talk with all sorts of people and get their input and get their expertise, but then I'm bringing it back to council because we know where we're going. That's really where I'm going with that one. I think it would just be better if somebody was steering it, but not necessarily the expert, obviously, they might not be.
Agree with steering, but I'm not sure that we need a councillor to do that for a working group.
Yeah, I'm conflicted really. I think if it was a task and finish group, it wouldn't need to be a councillor to run that for us. But if it's something like this group, where we expect it to continue over a period of years probably, for continuity reasons, I would support it. being a member of the council that chairs it. There you go. We have a difference of opinion. Does somebody want to make a proposal?
I propose that the chair needs to be a councillor.
Second.
All those in favour? That's carried. Against? Abstentions? That's carried. And the proposed change that I suggested and the officer read out, can I propose that we adopt that?
Seconded.
Seconded, all those in favour? Carried. And then well, I guess in terms of reference for a climate change task group. Is that approved?
Yes.
Propose acceptance? Seconded, all those in favour? That's agreed, thank you.
Thank you.
That closes the meeting, thank you very much.
Thank you.